You guys, I really cannot believe that Cortney let Colt move back in with her. But he didn't just move in with her. He moved in with her and her 66-year-old boyfriend. Sugar daddy is what it seems like, or what Colt is accusing it of being. But Colt was just sitting there in this room, and he's eating a processed TV dinner. You know, like the TV dinners we know Gino loves, struggle meals. And as he's sitting there eating it, I'm like, okay, he must be in a hotel room or something. But the next thing you know, he stands up and he reveals that he can finally walk again. So congratulations to him for that. But here's the thing. When Colt is around Cortney, he acts like he's all helpless, like he can barely do anything. Like we saw Cortney literally helping him brush his hair, put on his deodorant, like basic things I feel like you can do as long as you have two arms like he does. But I feel like a lot of times he's just milking it and taking advantage of the situation. Like, why not have a caretaker listening to your every beck and call if you can have one? I mean, it's better to have one than not have one. And Cortney is all for it because she thinks that he's this helpless little man. But in reality, I think Colt can move around a lot better. I don't think he can like 100% like go walk a freaking 5-10 mile marathon, but I think that he can get around and walk more than he leads on. I think he could easily get from one side of the house to the other by himself with the assistance of his crane, and he revealed that. He's like, yeah, I can now walk with this crane. I'm making a lot of progress. I don't think he's really telling Cortney that. And he's got Cortney feeling so freaking bad for him that he ended up moving back to Florida for a few months. And in this few months while he was in Florida, Cortney ended up meeting this dude at the bar, this 66-year-old man named Philip, and he decided to invite Cortney to come move in with him. And she's like, yeah, I can move in with you, but only under one condition. I need my friend Colt to move in too. And he decided to go ahead and give in and let Colt move in, because here's the thing. He kept saying that Cortney is repeatedly saying that it's all her fault that he got injured. She has to take that responsibility off herself. It is not her fault. Yes, she was with him that night, but he's the one that walked down the stairs and slipped. I mean, it could have been from maybe the steps wasn't, maybe like it could have been something that was the resort's fault. Maybe it was Colt's fault, but I don't think that it was Cortney's fault, and she needs to take that responsibility off herself and make it feel like she's gonna have to answer for that the rest of her life. And she feels responsible for Colt, like he's her child now after all this. And even her man Philip sees that, and she kept going to all these seedy hotels every single week, and she was moving Colt from one hotel to the next. And Colt admitted on the Between the Sheets episode that when he first came back from Brazil, Cortney was laying up with him in some hotels, all sitting there cuddling, watching TV. But I guess she decided to not go any farther past that. But I mean, you still laid up with a man. But anyways, Cortney eventually met Philip, and Philip was like, yeah, I guess we can go ahead and let Colt stay, because he wasn't a fan of her going to these seedy hotels by herself to meet up with Colt, and he knew that she's going to do it regardless if Colt lives there or if Colt doesn't live there. He thought, well, I mean, I don't know what's going on while they're at a hotel together. I mean, he could get away with anything. And Philip said he can tell just from the vibe when he's around Colt and Cortney that Colt still has a lot of feelings for Cortney. So he's like, okay, I would rather have Colt at my house. Cortney ended up talking him into this. I'd rather have Colt at my house under my roof where I can kind of keep an eye on things, rather her visiting him at this hotel over and over again. So he allowed it to happen, but now it's causing this huge strain on Cortney and Colt's relationship, because not Cortney and Colt, Cortney and Philip's relationship, because it seems like Colt is overstaying his welcome. He's the type of dude that he's gonna try to stay as long as he can. Like, I'm honestly shocked he hasn't had any evictions, because he seems like the dude that you tell to get out and he just kicks his feet right up and gets even more comfortable. And I think that's what he's gonna do with Cortney. But the reason he gets away with a lot of the stuff that he does is because Cortney allows him to. This man is never going to do anything to try to become independent because he knows anytime he needs something, all he has to do is call Cortney and she's going to come running, and he's learned that he can treat her any type of way and do whatever to her, and she's still going to be there regardless, and it doesn't change her loyalty to him outside of him being able to sleep with her. And so Colt tried to say in the Between the Sheets episode that Cortney told him that she likes getting with older men because they can't really get it up and they don't stay active too long in the bedroom, so she can just be lazy and she doesn't have to put in a lot of work, apparently. And then Cole comes out of his bedroom and he is at the house with him and Courtney's boyfriend Philip, and he's like, yeah, Philip, what do you got going on tonight? And he's like, well, me and Courtney are going to go play pickleball. We're going to go out to eat. And Colt's like, I like to eat. I like pickleball. And he was dropping every obvious hint about how badly he wanted to go. And eventually he just mustered up the courage and said flat out, yeah, can I come with you guys? And he's like, no way. We're trying to have like a romantic night. You're going to kind of kill the vibe, which I don't blame him. And Colt was like, okay. And so he kind of backed off a bit after that. What do you guys think? I'm curious. Do you guys think that Colt legit, for real, moved in with Courtney and her man for months? Or do we think that this is just a storyline? I mean, I want to hope that it's real, but damn, I'm like, this cannot be real life because most people wouldn't go for it. And then after Colt learned that he couldn't go out on the date, they go out and they play pickleball. And Courtney started opening up about Philip in a confessional, and she's like, yeah, Philip is amazing. She said that in the bedroom, he rocks it in the bedroom. You know, Cole could never get it up, and she felt really insecure after Cole because Cole could never get it up for her. But then he revealed that he went down to Brazil and got up no problem for that girl down in Brazil anytime he needed to for her. And so all of a sudden, Courtney's starting to realize, okay, he was never attracted to me. And she got with this older man, and this older man doesn't have to take no pills or nothing. She said from sun up to sundown, he's ready to go. All Courtney has to do is be like, come on, baby, come here, and he's ready. And she said that Philip's been married a few times. He has 4 kids that are in his 30s, and he has a few grandchildren. And it seems like he's living by himself with Colt and Courtney. So that's the thing. This man probably thinks, okay, all my kids are in their 30s. They've already moved out. And now here I am stuck with Courtney and a man in his grown 30s trying to move in with me after my kids have already moved out. I would be feeling some type of way. Like, he probably got all excited that he was finally going to have an empty nest and he could enjoy it. And here comes along Courtney, his new girlfriend, along with this man. I think Colt's in his late 30s now, early 40s now. I don't know, but he's getting close to his 40s if he's not there already. But this man who's pretty much in his 40s, who's unemployed with a cane. Like, come on, that's a lot to take on, but bless this man's heart for being willing to take this all on. But he can see that Colt still has a thing for Courtney, and Courtney swears up and down that she would never give Colt another chance again. But Philip is even having concerns of leaving Colt and Courtney in the house by themselves because he's scared something might happen because he feels like Colt cannot control himself. I'm not gonna lie, my initial thought when I heard him say, oh, I'm scared they're going to get back together, I was like, no way, he's done too much to her. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I also thought she would have left his ass alone, and she literally moved him in with her new man. So really nothing Courtney does at this point surprises me. But after Cole was bragging on the Between the Sheets episode that Courtney was laid up with him cuddling in a hotel after he got back from Brazil, I'm like, damn, maybe Philip does have something to be worried about. I don't know, but Philip confronted Courtney and he's like, look, we need to have a talk with Colt. He's overstaying his welcome. We need to make him uncomfortable, so it's time for him to get out. And I agree. But Courtney was like, we can't just leave him by himself. He can't walk. And Philip was just sitting there looking at her crazy like, do you realize he walks all around the house all the time? I don't think you see how much he walks when you're not around. And I think like he needs to get cameras and start recording that shit and showing Cortney how he doesn't act so helpless when others aren't around. I mean, he still struggles. I'm not going to say it's 100%. But if he's really still struggling as much as he's trying to act like the Cortney, which we already know he's not because he admitted he's been able to walk lately, then he just needs to get himself an electric wheelchair so he can have more independence in getting around by himself. And Cortney needs to look into a job as a caretaker if she ever needs a job, because it seems like she's done a good job being one for Colt for free. That's another thing that just blows my mind. She did all this and put her whole life on hold for months where she wasn't working and putting her full-time job into pretty much Colt when she could have been getting a bag. I mean, no wonder she had to go get herself a sugar daddy. But I'm so glad I ended up watching the episode of Between the Sheets after this episode. I usually tune into them other seasons, but this season I haven't been tuning into the Between the Sheets episode as much. But Colt was spilling tea on this last episode. So he revealed that Cortney ended up breaking up with Philip over Colt, according to him. And he claimed that Cortney was trash talking Philip to him. So he said that Cortney broke up with Philip because Philip pretty much told her and gave her an ultimatum. Look, he needs to go because he got sick of Colt because he wouldn't leave after Philip kept giving him hints, and Cortney was like, no way, we can't get rid of him. And she would not give in and let Philip kick him out. I'm sure Cortney probably downplayed the situation at first. Like, she probably came to him and was like, hey, it's just going to be a few weeks till he gets on his feet. And here we are a year later probably, and Colt's more comfortable than ever and not having any plans on moving anytime soon. And he's like, man, no, screw this. I did not sign up for this. And I guess Cortney was not backing her man up. So Cortney and Philip got in this fight, and they ended up breaking up several times. And I guess Colt ended up moving out after Cortney and Philip broke up. And Cortney went to Colt, and she was trash talking Philip. She's like, yeah, he's too controlling. He's always trying to tell me what to do. We always fight. He's always on my ass, and I don't like it. So apparently Cortney and Philip broke up several times. Colt moved out, but then they ended up getting back together, and then Colt moved back in, and Cortney was trying to act like she left Philip for Colt because Colt came first. Oh, and one last thing. Apparently she sold it to Philip as, okay, he needs to come here because he's got to get surgery on his leg. Don't worry, he's not going to bother us. His mom can stay with him so you don't have to worry about anything, and she can keep an eye out and make sure if you're working or something that we're not going to be doing the hanky-panky. So he actually trusted the situation more. And I guess Debbie moved in for a whole month. She came from Canada to the United States to stay in Philip's house for a whole month. But Cortney said that she did stay out of the way. They barely even noticed that Debbie was there the whole time, but she did help take care of Colt. She did all his laundry, and I'm sure that he thought, okay, Debbie's going to come help him, and then he's going to have his surgery, and after he heals, he's going to be gone. And then after Debbie left, it seems like that's when he started to get irritated, and there started to be a lot of tension in his relationship with Cortney. But that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about everything in the comments below. This is definitely going to be an interesting tell-all. I hope this sugar daddy shows up to the tell-all, and I hope that he spills some of the tea about them breaking up and Colt getting kicked out and all that good stuff. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.